a game that most of the time last couple of years has been low scoring, but as you come into this game, a couple of teams are heading in different directions. The Big Red at 4-0. The Crusaders, after dropping 2 in a row, are now 2-2 on the season.
Exactly, Jags, and these two teams have split in the last 4 years. Central winning in 92 and 13-6 and 6-0 last year. Big Red winning in 93, 20-15 and 14-0 in 1994. Big Red's longest winning streak in this long series of 53 games was from 81 to 91. They won 11 straight. Central's biggest streak goes back to 44 through 46 when they won 3 straight, limiting Big Red to 1 touchdown in 3 football games. They also won 3 straight back in 54 through 56. The biggest scores in the series, Steubenville winning 64-6 back in 47. That's when our man Johnny Perito, the meat man, scored for Catholic Central. In fact, I think Central outgained Big Red in yardage, but Big Red must have had 6 specialty touchdowns. Central's biggest victory back in 64, 36-6. And if you're the Crusaders, I think this is the game you want to play off of what they have done the last 2 weeks.
Well, Coach Farrar this week talking about in the paper getting his team ready, things that they've been doing wrong. They've been getting a lot of penalties, but the offense has sputtered, and you can bet that was a focus of attention this week as the practice involved. And in fact, Coach Farrar, talking about the game tonight, had these comments.
We're 2 teams that are, pretty similar. They have a pretty explosive offense with Jovi Platt at the quarterback, and every time he touches the ball, he's a threat, and their offensive line's well schooled, and they do a good job of getting off the football, and they play their defense better, than anybody plays the 4-3 around here. So, hopefully we'll be able to play our defense a little bit better. We played it pretty good, we thought. We gave up some big plays, and we have to eliminate that. And on offense, we have to strive to get back to some consistency.
Fans with the blue jerseys and blue helmets, the Big Red, and the red fans, white jerseys, red helmets, and the red numerals. And pretty big crowd on hand. We talked about that during the break. The weather perhaps keeping a few away, but I got here about 20 to 7, and the parking lots were pretty much filled up then, and they just keep coming in. The big crowd on hand tonight, and what always proves to be an outstanding game. And a lot of this time these games are dependent on turnovers and things like that. And a lot of times you see the teams, when they have a game like this, not call the kind of plays that we've been accustomed to the first 4 games of the season. It kind of like everybody goes into a little bit of a shell. So it'll be interesting for Big Red. I think the higher the score goes, the better off they are, because they're averaging a lot of points a game. The Crusaders will try to keep it in a low-scoring mode.
I think anytime you get into a game, A, against a rival, and B, a game that normally is pretty close, that you tend to be a little bit more conservative in your play calling. In essence, maybe you tighten up a little bit. We'll see if that happens tonight. The good thing is, I think, for both teams is that the field is in excellent playing condition. You've got enthusiastic crowd. It's warm out, much warmer than I thought it would be, although they were saying it would not go under 60 this evening, so there's no chill factor there. It'll be a little slippery, but the conditions are very nice. I'm happy for the fans because I think some stayed away figuring would get some more rain, but there are many here, and they're probably going to enjoy the comfort of this football game.
Well, if you're looking at the offensive and defensive averages at these teams, the Crusaders on the season averaging 15 points a game, giving up 14, almost 15 points a game, almost a wash. The Big Red, meanwhile, averaging 35 points a game and giving up 11. There's a difference of 23.5 points per game there. So
Reno Succock, excuse me, Jack, you maybe didn't see it. I think it's Jack Prettyman, the referee. He brought Jeff Vag out on the field to show Jack Prettyman what Vag had on his hand. Remember, he missed last week's game with some type of a thumb injury, and he's got that wrist and thumb all taped up there with what appears to be some type of a soft cast. So the official said that is okay, you can use it, etc., etc.
Big Red has won the toss. They've elected to defer, and the Crusaders will have the football first.
Ted Gorman appears to be the Big Red special teams coach, and he's got his special group out there huddled around him as Mike Donnelly will get the set the tee up from that left hash mark, and he has been a definite advantage for Steubenville, kicking it deep for the first 4 games.
Also on the through the kicking game, Donnelly with 14 extra points on the season.
I know Coach Farrar would certainly like to get a good opening drive going because his offense has sputtered in, 7 of the last 8 quarters. They had one real good quarter against Martin Sperry in the second half, but they've been shut out, in a sense, for like 7 of the last 8 quarters.
Yeah, the one thing that they're going to have to do defensively is not give up the big play. You look at the game against Lindsay last week, the 4 touchdowns.